Hi everyone, welcome to a new year. It's time to set some new habits. Hi everyone, my name is Jackie and we are enjoying life's journey. Welcome to the channel. For those of you who have been following along, I do like to follow the Flylady system. So what is the Flylady system? Flylady system is basically a system or a set of routines, if you will, to help you get your house in order and to keep your house in order. And with the new year, a lot of times we have these New Year's resolutions or we set goals, and it might say, okay, I want to keep my house organized, or I want to declutter everything, or I just want to be a little less stressed out because the environment I'm in is a little chaotic right now. Well, rather than just setting that goal, I want you to think of goal setting as more of putting systems in place or putting habits in place. In the Flylady system, we have our morning routines, our afternoon routines, our evening routines, but those all start with building one habit at a time. So that's what we're going to do. And the Flylady system is perfect for you to kind of get started. So wherever you are, whether you're in January like we are, or you're watching this later, maybe in March or May, you're just going to start with whatever that habit is. So currently, we're in January 2022, and the habit is shining the sink. So I already have a video on my channel. I'll link it down below, and maybe I'll have a card up here for you guys somewhere. But basically, the idea is that we are going to deep clean our sink. And once you've deep cleaned it, though, you have that daily habit of keeping it clean. And then we need to get into trying to build the habit of just doing the dishes or keeping up with the dishes, right? So shining your sink might be kind of a few habits combined. The other thing is, the first time you're trying to do a new habit, you might have the habit of actually tracking a habit. So actually that's what I have behind here. I'll show you a little closer in a moment, but I have some habit trackers. I bought these on Amazon the same time I bought my wall calendar. If you missed it, I did a video on setting up my wall calendar. I have a link for that. I got that on Amazon as well. There's a few different sizes you can pick depending on the size of your wall, but that works out great so the whole family can see everything at a glance. But then we each have, I have a habit tracker, and then my daughters have a habit tracker, and it happens to have 31 days on it, so you can try to track that habit for the whole month. So let's take a look real quick. I'll show you a little bit closer at these habit trackers. So I just write the year, but again, you have your habits, so it gives you plenty on here. I do not recommend starting more than one habit at a time, or maybe two at the most. But it's your monthly tracker. So I have my name on here. And then again, you have 31 days. And then the bottom one here, my youngest daughter, Elsa, has decided she's getting ready. And she said this is for school. So you'll notice she has some days that are marked off for her weekends. What I've done for shining my sink, so here we are halfway through. How have I done? Well, the dashes for me mean I did not shine my sink. The X's mean I did it. So you notice I didn't do it on the weekend. I did it on the week. I didn't do it on the weekend. I missed a weekday. I did it on this weekend, but I didn't do it yesterday. So we're going to get back to it. So yeah, we're starting with shining the sink. I'm going to make one of these videos every month as we bring in a new habit. So like I mentioned, anytime we're trying to bring in a new habit, whether you're doing a Flylady system habit or maybe you're doing a fitness habit, maybe you're doing a finance habit like budgeting or tracking your spending, whatever it might be, the first thing you want to do is just try to focus on one habit at a time. So it's really great that the new year started and I can kind of start over on these habits. So the first one is shining the sink. Then what we do is we're tracking it and we're trying to improve it. So it doesn't have to be perfect. We don't want perfectionism, but we want progress, just even 1% better than the time before. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to, I'm finishing out the month focusing on the shining the sink, and then next month when it's time to add February's habit, I'm going to track the shining the sink again, and then I'm going to add my other habits. So I'm adding those habits, but I want to continually track them all because this is a system that I'm trying to put into place to keep my house clean and organized, not just get it there one time and then have to do it again like a big spring cleaning, right? The idea is to build those systems, those daily habits. Now, some of the habits that she has may be part of a weekly routine, or it might be part of a daily routine, but this is a great way to get started and not feel overwhelmed by focusing at one thing. So like I mentioned, shining the sink, the first time you do it, you're literally just cleaning out the sink. You're gonna clean it, deep clean it, take all the dishes out. In fact, don't even focus on doing the dishes, you're just gonna deep clean it. So I do already have a video on that. But then what do you do on a daily basis? Because you can't just keep taking the dishes out of the sink and cleaning the sink and not doing the dishes, right? So what I've done to my daily habit with the shining the sink is I've added just a 15-minute time where I do the dishes. So however many dishes are in there, I don't worry about it. I set my timer for 15 minutes and I do the dishes. As soon as that 15 minutes is up, then I go ahead and I'll clean out the sink, run the garbage disposal, and then wipe down my kitchen counter. So to me, that's my shining my sink. Now, my husband Ricky does do the dishes usually when he gets home from work. Yesterday was Monday, my kids didn't have any school, so we kind of just stayed home and we did our own thing. I did maybe 3 of my home blessing hour tasks, and I did do a lot of our garden planning because our goal is to have our garden up and running for spring. So I kind of, mixed and matched some of my stuff. So I didn't really do some of my daily routine things. And then when Ricky got home and saw how many dishes there still was, I told him, don't worry about it. I'll just get us caught up tomorrow. So normally my husband does do some dishes in the evening, and so it kind of helps out. But he doesn't wash out the sink, he doesn't wipe down the counter. So that's why I want to include that as my shining my sink. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, not just about the Flylady routine, but it's just about habits in general. So obviously you want to start with one at a time, but you also want to try to do what's called habit stacking. So let's say you already have a habit of emptying your dishwasher, or you already have a habit of coming in the kitchen and making your coffee, or in the evening, you already have the habit of making dinner. Go ahead and stack the habit of shining your sink onto that other habit that you're already doing. So the Flylady does have shining her sink in her evening routine. Basically, after dinner, clean everything up, and it's nice, ready for the next day. I don't do that. I am a morning person in the sense that if I'm going to do anything, I gotta wake up and get started on doing it. As soon as my kids are out of school and my husband's home from work, I'm done. I've clocked out from my home organizing, cleaning job, if you will. And that's just it. I treat my home as a job, as a business, being a stay-at-home mom and a stay-at-home wife. And it really does help you to stay on track. Now, there are days that you're not going to be motivated and you don't want to do it, especially once you get all these routines and these habits in place. To go through them all the time might seem monotonous, or maybe you're just not feeling good. You don't want to do it. But you just do it. Start with one, and it will have this little ripple effect. But for me, it's got to be first thing in the morning. I got to wake up and just kind of start my routines, or again, it's not going to get done. So for you, whenever you want to do your shine your sink, think of a habit you're already doing in the kitchen, because it makes sense to do it while you're in the kitchen, right? And just stack it onto that other habit because you're already in the kitchen, and then just set your timer for 15 minutes after you do your initial deep clean. So do your initial deep clean of your sink, take everything out, clean it up real good, and then starting every day, set your timer for 15 minutes, do as many dishes as you can, wipe off your counters, do a little clean up in the sink, run the garbage disposal, that type of thing, right? And then you'll continue, if you continually keep up with that habit, the dishes will get less and less, right? You'll keep up with them a little bit more. Now, obviously, you could try to develop a habit of actually washing your dishes as soon as you're done with them. I've tried making that a habit many times, and I fail every time. So for whatever reason, I don't want to spend that extra 2 minutes, washing the dish after I'm done with it. So for me, it's set the timer for 15 minutes, do as many dishes as I can. Sometimes I finish all the dishes, sometimes I don't, but I just move on. Now, if you are really backed up on dishes and you have the sink and the counters and the stove all full of dishes, then you might want to go ahead and set your timer for 15 minutes twice a day, just so you can start getting caught up on that. But that's, the idea. So I'm going to run through the other Flylady habits really fast, and then I'm going to go shine my sink. So January, shine your sink. February, we're going to create the habit of decluttering for 15 minutes a day. Now, if you watched my video, I talk about the Flylady app, and I actually incorporate within my afternoon routine, I have 15 minutes in the zone. So whatever zone I'm in for that week, I spend 15 minutes in there. I start with decluttering. If all the clutter is gone in that particular zone, then I move on to the deep cleaning list. So I spend 15 minutes in the zone, whether I'm decluttering or cleaning. So sometimes I may not declutter every day, and sometimes I'm not cleaning in the zone, like cleaning in the zone every day. Also, my zones consist of usually 3 different rooms. So I might say, you know what, I'm only focusing on decluttering. So I might go through each room within that zone before getting to my detailed cleaning list. So you can kind of play with however you do that. March is getting dressed to shoe, right? So I may not do my hair and makeup every day. I may not shower every day, but I want to get fully dressed and actually put my shoes on. And the reason we want to put our shoes on is so that we can tell our brain it's time to work, it's time to get going, and get going. April, our habit is making your bed. When I started the Flylady system a few years ago, I actually started with the making your bed habit. And to this day, that is the #1 thing I do when I get out of bed. I make my bed. Even when we went on vacation, I straightened up my bed. It's become such a habit, and it really tells my brain that, hey, you're not going to go back in and snuggle into bed after dropping the kids off at school. You're done. The bed's made. You're up. And I know it might sound silly, but it does help, especially if you're home all day. It helps you to tell yourself to get out of bed. But the other thing is, it's nice when you go to get into the bed, you're not trying to re-straighten up your stuff from making it all messy sleeping in. May is moving. So she talks about having 15 minutes of loving movement every day. So in May, you're going to start incorporating that habit. So you can kind of think ahead of what you might want to do. You could be, just going on a 10, 15, 20-minute walk. You could actually, maybe you decided, you're hardcore and you want to go train for a marathon, whatever it is, whatever your fitness level is, you just walk for 15 minutes a day, or you could actually go, do your training, whatever it is that you do, but you're incorporating that to try to do something, some type of movement on a daily basis. June is drinking your water. You guys have seen my big jug. It holds 8 glasses of water. So I fill that up every morning and it's ready to go. But again, the idea of these habits is to start on the month that they're there. Even if it's a habit you're already doing, I encourage you to track it and improve it, right? Because even if it's something you think, oh, I already have that habit, you don't know how well you're doing unless you're tracking it. Okay, July, it's swish and swipe. So swish and swipe means the bathroom. So again, I habit stacked that. So I'm already in the bathroom in the morning, brushing my hair and brushing my teeth. So as soon as I'm done brushing my teeth, I swish and swipe the bathroom. So what does that mean? Swish and swipe. Basically, you're cleaning out the toilet real quick and you're wiping out the sink real fast, or the counter, right? You just keep that looking decent so it doesn't start building up a bunch of crud. August is laundry, so the habit of doing a load of laundry every day. Now, I do not do a load of laundry every day. I do a load when the washer is full, so every 2 to 3 days I do a load of laundry. But building that habit of finishing it, doing the laundry and actually putting it away, that's the big thing. September, your before bed routine. So whatever routine that is you set for yourself. For me, on my thing, I have on there a reminder, did I drink my water? Kind of rinse my face and do at least a mouthwash, right? I may not be brushing and flossing at night, but starting with like a mouthwash something, and then maybe I can build up to, other stuff that I want to do, but keeping it simple to start with. October is the paper clutter. So keeping up with mail and the kids' school paperwork, all of that stuff, as soon as it comes into your house, you go through it and either recycle it or file it, whatever it is you need to, you take care of it right then and there. So building that habit. November is menu planning. This is a big one that I need to work on because we want to start meal prepping. So coming up with a menu, not just for dinners, but for everything, snacks, breakfast, lunch, everything is for what I need to really work on. And then December, our habit is our pampering, actually taking care of ourselves. So again, if you watched my video on the Flylady app, I showed some examples of what I have been doing to pamper as my pamper session. So again, we're starting with January, we're shining our sink. If you're joining me in a different video and it's a different month, do not go back and try to do all the other habits. Start where you are. So again, if you're starting in May, you're just gonna start with your daily movement and then build on following, and then the next year you come back and add on. It's okay. You don't need to go back and do a bunch. So there is no right or wrong way to clean your house. So don't get bogged down on, well, this person does it this way, or this is how this is done. It's just do it. Do something, right? If you want to wash your dishes by hand, if you want to use the dishwasher, if you're in an RV, true story, if you're in an RV and your pipes are frozen and you have to go use the hose outside, you gotta do it. Icy cold water. That was not fun. Alright, so what I do is I have a bunch of new sponges. And at the beginning of the month, I get a new sponge. So this was my new sponge for the beginning of January. And then this one gets moved down underneath. So then this becomes my sink sponge for a month. And then it gets transferred into my bathroom and becomes the toilet sponge for a month. So I get like 3 months use out of one sponge. And I just go from, the next grossest thing. Alright, so that's it. So obviously today was a little bit more because I didn't do it yesterday. So if I can mark off now that I've done it. So I'm making a little bit of progress because I'm not going to allow myself to go 2 days in a row without doing it, right? So just a little bit of progress each time. But that's the idea, you guys. January is Shine Your Sink. So again, if you want to pick up one of your own habit trackers, this is just in the dining room. That way I can see it at any time. It really helps to remind myself to track it and to do it. That saying, out of sight, out of mind. So if you're tracking it in a planner or on your phone, you may not think of it as much. So I do like having this front and center so I see it. And it's easy for me just to walk over and mark it. Again, if you want to pick up, the calendar, I'll have those down. I'll have links down in the description below if you want to pick up a wall calendar or a habit tracker. Follow along with me every month. We're going to start on the next Flylady habit. So, as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.